Welcome to Strategy Saturday. I'm Charles Carillo, and today we're discussing how to avoid bad tenant, and I'll share the rules and systems I've used over the years to make my rental business run smoothly, stay profitable, and stress-free. So let's get started. When I've spoken to ex-landlords in the past who have left the business, there are really two recurring reasons I hear. Number one is it was much more time-consuming than they thought. They realized that active real estate investing was not a passive activity. And number two, bad tenant experiences. And when I purchased my first rental property 2 decades back, over the years, I worked to try and make my real estate business run smoother, which I realized later on was really based around renting to better tenants. If you can avoid bad tenants, you're really avoiding a lot of problems. And here are some rules and guidelines that I have learned and implemented in my business over the years. Number one is improve tenant screening. So having effective tenant screening is the best way to avoid problematic tenant and potential future issues. This is achieved by conducting thorough background checks, which include criminal and eviction history. Credit checks, employment verification, and income verification provide solid proof of a tenant's ability to pay rent. Previous landlord references may be useful if you can verify their validity and determine if the information provided is actually accurate. If the references are from a previous landlord, it is essential to confirm their accuracy, which can be challenging, and maintain consistent application screening criteria and requirements for all applicants. And additionally, if you own or manage a number of rental units, consider building a wait list and maintaining continuous marketing on your properties while encouraging potential tenants to apply and get pre-approved before you have any units available. And furthermore, you can offer incentives for early renewals or referrals to reduce turnover and minimize unit downtime. If you want to learn more about tenant screening with some tenant screening questions we use, you can check out episode SS189. That's SS189. Number two is utilize solid leases. So every landlord should be using a proactive, well-crafted lease that has been reviewed by an attorney. And your lease will be something that you regularly update as you gain new tenant experiences, but ensure it includes a few key points before using it. So clear definitions of the rental amount, the due dates, and late fees. Detailed rules regarding property use, such as parking, smoking, pet policies, noise, etc., and responsibilities for the tenant and the landlord, including maintenance, paying rent on time, respecting the property and fellow tenants, along with the procedures for lease violations and evictions. Number three is setting clear upfront expectations. And this is something I never did when I started investing, but once I implemented it, I saw a reduction in tenant conflicts as providing proactive communication that helps avoid misunderstandings and disputes by following a couple of steps. Number one is, walk the units upon move-in. Performing move-in inspections with the tenants and documenting the unit's condition alongside them goes a long way to avoiding issues related to the apartment's condition. Before I did this, you'd have someone that call you a half hour after they moved in, a day after it, a week or something afterwards, and they go and they give you a list of stuff that's broken or what's wrong with the apartment or what they think is an issue, and then you have to work this out. If you do the unit walkthrough right as keys are given and they sign off on it literally, now everybody's on the same page. And if there's an issue afterwards, then you have to have that conversation with your tenant. This will avoid most of it because it's upfront. You both are agreeing that the unit is in make-ready, move-in condition. A welcome packet or a cover sheet, the important points of a lease, rules, emergency contacts, procedures, important lease terms. It's helpful since most people do not read the lease. Encourage open communication. If there's an issue or problem, please have them reach out. You don't want to find out a week after rent is due that they lost their job, that the heat is not working correctly, or that a toilet has been running for 2 weeks. This is the first step in good customer service and tenant retention. Now, sometimes you'll hear about it only when the rent's due because they're trying to push off paying rent. But if you can keep the open communication when there's an issue that comes up, that's when you can go and rectify it immediately. Number four is notice anything's issues early and enforce those policies immediately. So when you're noticing issues, even minor ones, it helps them not turn into major issues. So if you schedule inspections under the guise of HVAC filter changes, dryer vent cleanings, or hot water heater maintenance, always provide proper notice and schedule it on a regular periodic basis, such as quarterly or every other month. But when inside the unit, look for potential issues or lease violations, such as unauthorized pets and occupants, damage, or items requiring maintenance. And strictly follow your lease to maintain control and respect between the tenant and the landlord. If you do not enforce your lease, it becomes worthless in the eyes of the tenant. And when an issue arises and you address it with the tenants immediately, that is when it really solidifies the lease. Now, written communication is most effective, especially when issuing late rent and lease violation warnings. Written communication also removes any type of emotional responses, making the communication much more formal than just a text or a call off the whim. And tenants will take the communication more seriously when it is written. Now, as a recap, improve your tenant screening, use a good lease that has been reviewed by an attorney, set clear expectations with tenants, spot issues, and enforce policies immediately. So I hope you enjoyed. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, make comments on potential show topics at globalinvestorspodcast.com. If you're interested in actively investing in real estate, please check out our courses and mentoring programs at syndicationsuperstars.com. That is syndicationsuperstars.com. Look forward to 2 more episodes next week. See you then.
Have you always wanted to invest in real estate but didn't have the time, didn't know where to find the deals, couldn't get the funding, and didn't want tenants calling you? Since 2006, I've been buying income-producing properties in great locations that provide us with consistent passive income while we wait for appreciation in the future and take advantage of tax laws while we're waiting. And unlike your financial advisor, we invest alongside our investors in every property we purchase. Check out investwithharborside.com. If you like the idea of investing in real estate, if you like the idea of passive income, partner with us at investwithharborside.com. That's investwithharborside.com.
This episode should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Any investment opportunities mentioned on this podcast are limited to accredited investors. Any investments will only be made with proper disclosure, subscription documentation, and are subject to all applicable laws. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions of guests are their own. Information is not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss. The host is operating on behalf of Syndication Superstars, LLC exclusively.